Yo, what is good? Today we have Caveman Riffs. We're getting our pump on. We are flexing. We are strong today. I've just got out of a session with artist Auriel. They are known for super heavy, weighty, slow, powerful sounding guitar riffs. Some like folky, like nature influences, and a very like dark fantasy, Elden Ring, Berserk, hero's journey, stoicism kind of thing, because we have this crazy juxtaposition of like very intense, in-your-face, simple riffing, and then some like really beautiful, like intimate, quiet, folk acoustic sections. I want to show you guys some of the riffs we made, some of the like drastic transitions within it. Love Auriel. I'll link them below. This song's not come out yet, so give them a follow and be on the lookout for when it drops. Very, very excited. 3 things before we get into it. Thing 1, please like and subscribe. It really goes a long way. Thing 2, if you are trying to dive into this session and many others like it, check out my Patreon in the description. Thing 3, if you would like to do a session like this with me, if you have some mixing and mastering, some production, some writing, lesson, consultation type stuff you're trying to do, then shoot me a message for that as well. Link below. I've met so many cool artists through this channel, so if you think that's you, let me know. Let's make some hits. Enough yapping, let's get into it. Let's get into the caveman riffage. Sounds like this. Very slow and like weighty. Challenge ourselves to be like as simple as possible here. This hits the hook again, same as the intro, but double the length. We'll have vocals on it. And that goes into this section. So brutal. But then just like absolute hard cut into this section. It has some like folk, emo, almost like black metal influences. Feels like you're at like a campfire or like site of grace, like a little bit of solace before or after something really intense. Then bring it together, and now we have the heavy part back with that emotional sound from the bridge. The hook. Then it plays that through until its hard cut ends. And yeah, that is the song. Very crazy. I know a lot of times with Auriel, when we make these riffs sound like really big and weighty and heavy and just like full of power, the answer a lot of times is with a lot of layers. But this song we did our best to remove instead of add. We have very little layers of things happening. All the guitar parts are very simple. I was joking that I could have played these guitar riffs as an 8-year-old, especially on the bass 6. Some of that riffing is so like an endurance test more than like a skill test. Like you're not doing anything difficult with the right or left hand, but just like holding down that note for like what, 10 seconds at a time with like 100 gauge string. Felt like I was doing some workouts there, which I think is very fitting for the caveman riff. Really, this whole song, aside from the B section, is 2 guitars, bass, and drums. I'm using my bass 6, and my Strat and standard tuning. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing, just like inverted power chords, like 90s hardcore death metal kind of power chords in 2 different ranges, like an octave apart from each other, both double tracking. So we're getting a quad track thing going on there. It changes a little bit, like on this section, instead of them playing the same thing, the Strat plays a lead. The Strat here. And then the chords in the bass 6. Like really letting it feedback, and that feedback is like the ambience, the world that this lives in. It's very slow and noisy. Like then we have our bass tone, just fat as hell. I love how this bass tone turned out. Because I'm kind of jumping between the octaves, I took that mindset into my bass tracking. I did a parallel DI, so clean signal going into my DAW here with Ampeg SVT. And that is like the sub frequency of it. But then I'm sending a split signal into my PV guitar amp, the same that the guitars are going through a Digitech whammy pedal. I'll put a picture here to give an octave below that adds a ton of texture. Because those really low notes are through this distortion, it's like the mids, the low mids of the bass tone. So you're not getting a really messy sub. Like the low end of the bass tone is very tight because it's clean and at like the E standard octave. But then you get that crazy like thick tone from the dirt in it. It makes it different. It makes it unique. It makes it stand out. It almost hits a like doom metal like octave fuzz kind of thing going on. We go back to here. Hook again. We go to verse 2 that is absolutely insane. That's the slam, blast beat, breakdown kind of thing. And I was thinking like, all right, how can I make something really heavy and simple? Like even though the drums are going crazy, I want the guitar to be so caveman that it's like laughable. So I'm doing a like, again, 90s death metal, 90s hardcore, like modern equivalent of it would be knocked loose kind of thing where I'm playing in standard tunings. So I have my bass 6 here in E standard an octave below, but instead of doing the E chord, like I'm playing an A chord. I'm doing a power chord with the A, and then I'm letting the low E go below. And that just makes it heavier. That 4th interval instead of the 5th interval just creates a lot more tension. I'll show it on my Strat as well in standard so you can hear more legibly what the difference is. So we have our E. I remove my middle finger and you get the A. That kind of like tricks the ear into hearing like a drop A. Like you're imagining a low A over that just because it is an A power chord minus that low. And that's kind of a trick that I do to make standard tuning sound a lot heavier, is inverting your power chords. You have that inverted power chord and then literally just quarter note. Like the simplest rhythm imaginable. I figured spirit of caveman and the spirit of not counting less is more. And then that screaming noise, I'll put a picture here as well, but I use the Boss DM2 delay pedal, but this can work with any delay, especially an analog delay. What I'll do is I'll crank up all of the settings. I'll turn the repeat rate and the intensity all the way to the max. That way it self-oscillates and just creates this really crazy screaming sound. I'll use it like it's like a one-off effect. Like when I turn it on, it just becomes a noise. So I'll just turn it on and off rhythmically to either make a feedback be crazy or make a pinch harmonic kind of thing just sound ridiculous. sounds insane. I love that. And yeah, that is the guitar for the bass 6 and the Strat. They're blended pretty level, same. They're blended pretty same level of volume, but that Strat is getting some of the higher mid range. It's getting some of that higher mid range and the note clarity, and then the bass 6 is getting some of the like more scooped tone and aggression. It's definitely the uglier tone, whereas the Strat is the tone that is kind of keeping everything together. There's only one part of the song where there is a guitar lead, and that is that bridge section. And that bridge section is the bass 6. Just playing some power chords, some 9th power chords. The Strat doing the same. And then the Strat is also doing this lead. And that's just like your classic metalcore tremolo pick lead with a bunch of delay and reverb on it. I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm using the Chase Bliss Dark World reverb, and their modulated setting is really, really nice. I'll usually turn the reverb 100% wet or almost 100% wet on the modulated setting, and it just does this really crazy warbly thing. And I'm running the reverb into the amp. It's not the effects loop, it's right into the front. That way the reverb itself gets distorted, and that's how you get that really gluey, shoegazy kind of sound out of it. Yeah, crazy ugly tone, but I love how that sounds. I feel like the vibrato, the like modulated reverb kind of adds a little more emotion to it. If it was just straight, the same pitch, little too clean, I think the pitch kind of bending adds some uneasiness, adds some conflict, adds some tension. I love that. In my shoegaze meets post-hardcore meets metalcore thing I've been doing, I feel like I've accidentally been coming back to similar tones and styles as the There Is a Hell era of Bring Me the Horizon, and I feel like this riff is exactly that, like a modernized version of that vibe. Another cool thing with that guitar lead that I did to have it come in a neat way is I automated, right before the riff comes in, I automated to swell in, but I did less of a swell on the left side. That way it kind of like sweeps in from the side. I feel like that makes a really cool texture. A little bit of ear candy. A little bit of ear candy without going too crazy. Because like I said, we're going minimal, we're going simple, we're going caveman. We're not doing anything technical. I think that's just like the right amount, like chef's kiss of that. Drums wise, we're using some drum samples that I've not used before. I've had them for a while, but with the types of instrumentals I've been doing, it just like never fit into context. I have the Will Putney Modern Metal Easy Drummer library. I'm using those within Superior Drummer, swapping out some samples for Superior samples, especially with the cymbals, but the shells are mostly all from that. I love it. I felt like as intense and crazy as these tones were, this was finally the time to get that just like gruesome, brutal drum tone. And that's where the Will Putney stuff really came in handy. We're doing the multi-output as usual, but if you look, I'm only doing a little bit of EQing moves on some of the buses, nothing crazy, and then some balancing, but these drums sound awesome. What I really like about them is that there's a lot of clarity and punch while being roomy. Like I'm kind of cranking the room mics on this, but all the close mic'd shells and even like close mic cymbals are adding a ton of note definition that is really nice. I love that. My drum bus is the same as usual. I have my radiator going into Oxford, inflator going into API 2500. softening some of those transients, adding some energy. But retaining just enough of that. Especially on this section is where the drums shine, because I think that just as punchy and articulate as they are, it really helps these fast sections. Whereas some of the other like beefier metal rock drums just became a mess here. Those still really cut through the mix well. Yeah, I guess from here we'll go through the bridge section. It's where the song really takes a 180. So much pain there. I love that. It almost also is giving a little bit of like Alice in Chains to me. Yeah. So anyways, what's going on here is a handful of layers. We have acoustic guitar, 2 layers, little like finger picked soft kind of thing, stereo tracking, and then through the volume of the left and right, kind of making it veer more to the right side. Then we have this guitar lead. There's another guitar layer, acoustic guitar layer, that I pitch an octave down. And it is like the upright bass of it. Like an acoustic sounding bass. Makes it really impactful. We have the Shruti box, a little box organ thing that I have as a like pad in the background. Give it some air, some ambiance. Banjo. That is the least banjo layer ever. I'm running the banjo with a slide and ebow. I love that. Then lastly, we got some Foley, just some samples that I kind of blend together to give us like a sense of space. And that is a quick rundown of some brutal riffing, some caveman riffs, some really intentional, simple, less is more, like minimalist approach to heavy music. I can't wait to hear vocals on this. I'm sure I'll be doing another video here about the vocal side of this production once that is done. As usual, please like and subscribe if you haven't. Check out my Patreon if you would like to get this session and dive through. And please hit me up if you'd like to work together and make some music together. It would be very sick. We could make some hits like this. But really, if you made it this far in the video, it means so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you as always. And with that being said, I think it's time to do the usual peace out.